Hello everyone, Don here, your pop culture chiropractor. There's something interesting happening on the internet, and that's the rise of self-righteous hate. And I want to explore that along with the weird hazing of Billboard's recent Woman of the Year, Doechii. Recently, there has been an effort to unmask the rapper as inauthentic and unworthy of her fame, although Doechii has been preparing for stardom for more than a decade. Which leads me to ask the question, where is this self-righteous hazing of the rapper coming from? How did we get here? Blah blah. So for this video, let's have a conversation about self-righteous hate on the internet and the weird hazing of Doechii, and how can the rapper leverage this hate to silence the naysayers. I am Don, your pop culture boy. Let's get into this.
Catastrophic.
Now, before we dive into Doechii and her hazing dilemma, let's first talk about self-righteous hating online. Self-righteous hate is on the rise, and it's making the internet not fun anymore. What I mean when I say self-righteous hate, it's when whoever that is spewing hate online has a sense of justification and pride. They know what they're saying is hateful, but they don't give a damn, due to the fact that social media has become an echo chamber where it's okay to hate on someone without any real reason. Kind of like hating for sport. Based on my observation, self-righteous hating online comes from a place of gratification and hypocrisy. It's like saying, look at me, I'm hating, and it doesn't matter if my hate is based in truth or facts, because I'll be backed by a community of people who also hate this other thing. So I'm good, and I feel exhilarated about myself because hating feels good. And I feel like Nicole Kidman when she divorced Tom Cruise. Although Nicole Kidman debunked that story, she said it was for film instead, but who cares? I am justified, I am radiant, I am beautiful.
One, but I do not care. I have never, ever been happier.
And look, we are all capable of hate. It's a natural emotion. But in the real world, to witness someone hating for no good reason, just for the sport of hating, it would have to be done in a safe space like a haters convention, or at your kitchen table, or another closed setting, because in the open, you will get called out for it and no one will agree with you. You will get a bombastic side-eye. However, on the net, or social media rather, which has become this melting pot of ideologies and different cultures, where it's more acceptable to hate without being scrutinized. Hence, we are now witnessing more people becoming empowered and feeling a sense of dignity and pride for hating when their hate is based in them coping with their hypocrisy. Side note, now everyone can be hypocritical or biased, but it hits different when it's based on delusions or fabrications rather than when someone knows their hate is irrational and lets everyone know that yes, they are biased, which comes off like a joke. For example, I go on a tangent calling JoJo Siwa more talented while calling Pink trash and bad overall. In response to that ridiculous statement, people then call me biased and I reply saying, yes, I am. I don't care. Pink is overrated and needs to be transported to a dimension where harnesses don't exist. Now, obviously, you shouldn't take that seriously and it's a joke, but that's not what's happening today. A lot of these people are dead serious and are not funny. What makes self-righteous hate behavior on the net incredibly interesting is how these individuals act like they know something that nobody else knows, when in reality these haters know nothing like Jon Snow. And the people that love to hate self-righteously online tend to not be able to provide an accurate or justifiable reason that's not rooted in preference or jealousy. A prime example of this was when Joe Budden went off on Tyla for what he perceived was her having a nasty attitude because she supposedly thought Usher wanted to grind on her and sidestepped him at one of his concerts. Playback!
She seems, again, she's a young woman. I love her debut album. I'm not talking about musically. I'm talking about when she shows up in support of the music. She comes off like a... This is Armand Wiggins' tweet, right here, Spiritual World, my girl Big Mel. Hold me down. Armand Wiggins says, hey, I don't think I like Tyla's personality. I think someone needs to check her because she doesn't understand American culture at all. I could not agree more with this. She almost gives off entitled or uppity African. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very off-putting, and it's almost like she expects people to just fall to her feet. That is Armand Wiggins, who I a lot. Shout out to him. If you don't know him, Google him yourself. But I felt like this before the VMAs, by the way, because she popped up at the Barclays in support of Usher.
Yes, I saw that.
And when Usher attempted to do his showmanship dance while her record is playing, come on, we in front of 20,000 people, let's get in our bag. She dubbed him.
She did.
They say there's a reason for it.
I don't give a what the reason is.
The reason is that she's got a man.
I don't give a about your man.
Okay, so the reason
I'm not out of line. You on this stage. Usher got a girl.
Okay,
so what,
true.
nigga?
Well,
everybody parameters is different.
Yeah.
And he was coming up behind her, trying to whine on her.
Y'all preach your ideals somewhere else. We in front of 20,000 people right now.
So you saying somebody should go
Your
to
album came out. I'm telling you what I'm saying. Don't step on what I'm saying. I'm telling you what I'm saying.
That sounds dumb.
I'm telling you what I'm saying. Your album came out ages ago. There's mad money being spent on putting you where you need to be seen properly. Usher Raymond does not have to bring your little new artist ass on stage. He don't.
She was in the crowd. She was in the crowd. She
I don't give a where she was. Tell that shit to your.
Now, as you saw from that video, Joe was extremely justified in his stance on why he doesn't like Tyla, but really couldn't provide a real reason or an example of her being entitled. He stated she seems like a dick, but using words like seems is speculative, i.e., you don't know what you're talking about. And he was coming from a place of bias rather than fact. Also, the tweet Joe referenced by Armand Wiggins states that Tyla doesn't understand American culture, and my question to that is, not understanding a different culture, isn't that a misunderstanding and maybe warrants grace instead of taking it to social media to start drama? Also, would you hate someone simply because they have a different culture than you? Is that right? No. Isn't that prejudice or xenophobia? Moreover, instead of allowing grace, Joe was very self-righteous, although he was wrong. Even his co-hosts did not agree with him in his hatred for something that wasn't even the case. Now, whether Tyla sidestepped Usher gracefully or Usher was the one who signaled her to move to the side might still be up for debate. However, regardless, Joe's reaction was overblown. The hate was not warranted at all. Self-righteous hate takes other forms on social media, such as the gathering for an artist's so-called downfall, related to said artist's decline in their monthly listeners on Spotify, where people from different walks of life gather to celebrate the decline in streams in a self-assured way, as if their lives depend on it. And while there's nothing wrong with talking about these things, as I do it as well on many occasions, with the conclusions being why it happens, on the other hand, there's a set of individuals who use this as a confirmation that the artists they do not like were trash all along, and they were right for hating them from the start. When all this means is that less people are checking for that artist at the moment, i.e. not putting out music for a while, or the new music can't compete with the other music that currently exists. This is what happened to Ice Spice, her hate amplified in full display on Twitter during her Spotify monthly listeners decline, where people were so proud of themselves for hating as if no one else sees them. Like, my guy, why are you so happy?
Nigga, did you know that I can see you?
Twitter, the place where you find professional self-dignifying haters who are even paying to hate like it's a badge of honor to report every time someone's monthly listeners decline, with added malice mixed with piss and vinegar. And look, I don't want to be like, oh, defending celebrities. That's not what I want to do here. And I'm all for criticism, but it has to be rooted in logic. And it has to be constructive. Otherwise, it will begin to feel like a weird hazing or initiation, where some people feel like they have to humiliate these artists, thinking that these artists have to pass some tests set by them. And that's what's happening with Doechii, who is currently getting dragged up and down the internet. And on that note, let's talk about Doechii. Success comes with a hefty price, and Doechii is paying that price momentarily. Currently, lots of people are saying that the rapper just got here, and because they weren't aware of her until her Grammy win, her claim to fame is suspicious and forced. Now, to that I say, Doechii has been here for a while now. Her rise has been gradual, and you just weren't paying attention, or you did not like her from the start, and now that she's getting that shine, you're mad. Now, let's start the story backwards. Doechii was born Jela Hickman on August 14, 1998 in Tampa, Florida. The rapper developed a love for the arts at a tender age, enrolling in ballet, tap dancing, acting, and cheerleading. Little Doechii had her eye on the prize and was multitasking her entire life, talent-wise. She attended Howard W. Blake High School, where she started writing poetry and raps while also making music. In addition to releasing music on SoundCloud, which dates back to 2016, Doechii knew she wanted to be a star and utilize social media for further exposure. At first glance, Doechii's YouTube channel is very polished, but if you do a deep dive on her channel, you realize she's been uploading since 2015, documenting her life and journey as a creative person. and how she got her ass beat in the 3rd grade. By 2019, the same year her first mixtape Coven Music Volume 1 was released, Doechii started niching down her content, less lifestyle vlogs and story times, to one that more accurately portrays an upcoming artist trying to get a record deal. She released another mixtape, Oh the Places You'll Go, in 2020, which was later rebranded as an EP instead. The following year, she released her second EP, Brawless, and was featured on Isaiah Rashad's What You Said. Also, she was an opening act for SZA's tour in 2021, before signing to both Capitol and TDE in 2022, where she was given an old Nissan Altima.
He got me a Nissan Altima.
How bought you a
to start
Nissan
with.
Altima? What year was
He
it?
didn't buy me a Nissan Altima.
You just said drive this.
He gave me a Nissan.
Now, despite Persuasive being her first major release under TDE, I came across Doechii in 2022 through the brash, psychotic anthem Crazy, a track I actually reviewed back then as well. And while the music video used sex as a tactic to draw people in, the female body was used to send the message of rage and limitless artistic expression, a statement piece to tell the world that Doechii was coming to claim wigs and both visible and invisible pearls. Although Spotify monthly listeners isn't necessarily a metric that indicates the value of an artist, what it does is provide stats on an artist's popularity based off the unique number of users who have streamed an artist's music at least once within a 28-day period. And right now, per the platform, a lot of people are flocking to Doechii. Look at this chart provided by Chartmetric, which shows us how Doechii, who currently has over 50 million monthly listeners, went from a few 100,000 monthly listeners to 25 million in the span of 5 years, and gained 10 million in 2 months. From 2020 to 2021, she released and rebranded her 2020 mixtape, Oh the Places You'll Go, to an EP. At that time, her monthly listeners were under 1 million. Still in 2021, Doechii dropped her EP Brawless and collaborated with Isaiah Rashad, increasing her listeners by a couple million. The power of association marketing. After signing to TDE and Capitol in 2022, her listeners dipped, but she still has 2 to 3 million, give or take. She then released Persuasive, but after SZA hopped on the remix, her streams spiked again. It was after winning the Rising Star Award from Billboard Women in Music, which is based off her achievements and potential, and sprinkling in a little shock value marketing by featuring Kodak Black on her song What It Is, Block Boy, which triggered protests by fans. We saw her shit skeeted over 15 million.
It shot out her.
Her listeners dipped again naturally as nothing kind of happened after that, but after releasing her third mixtape, the acclaimed Alligator Bites Never Heal in 2024, along with her Tiny Desk performance, her monthly listeners continue to rise. And after winning Best Rap Album at the Grammys, as you can see, it skyrocketed again, passing the 25 million mark. Doechii is getting a lot of hate right now due to her being awarded by the industry, and just a lot of nitpicking when all these people have to do is just say they don't like her and move on. While she is being celebrated, on the other side of the coin, there is a set of people trashing her in the most self-righteous way, and I find this very interesting. The other day, the conversation surrounding female rap was, oh, it's too raunchy, it's too much coochie rap, I know the nooks and crannies of Ice Spice's body more than my own. And while Doechii is not Mother Teresa, she's here with more consciousness and creativity. And people's response to this is, something ain't right. Recently, Doechii was awarded Woman of the Year by Billboard, an award people are not really concerned about. It's a more closed-off industry honor award, or that's just how I perceived it over the years for the most part. Normally, it's only artists who care about it. But in the case of Doechii, people were calling her an industry plant, claiming they did not know her and what she has done to deserve it. Like, since when people have discourse about Billboard's Woman of the Year? Granted, a good award, but the discourse has never been this loud. Normally, it's crickets. When she won her Grammy, an argument I saw was that, how could she have won if she had no major hits prior or sold millions in album sales? By that logic, Baby Shark deserves a Grammy as well. But where was this energy when Killer Mike won that award last time? And while the media tried to push that conversation about Killer Mike only selling 2K and Travis Scott fans were upset, that conversation died down relatively quickly. But it's non-stop vitriol as we speak for Doechii. And it's been a month since the Grammys. Let's be real, Woman of the Year should be Glorilla. She's had a great run. Meanwhile, what major hits did Doechii really have? And how did she win a Grammy for a mixtape? Alligator Bites Never Heal was not an album. Something is fishy, said this one person on Twitter. Awards like the Grammys are not awarded based on sales, but rather quality, and mixtapes are eligible for a Grammy consideration as long as they are commercially released. It's no different from Drake's If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, being nominated in 2016, and Chance the Rapper's Coloring Book, which actually won in that category, Best Rap Album, in 2017. In response to the rapper being pushed, and as she should, i.e. booking shows, attending Fashion Week, and doing skits with Will Smith, people are saying she's being forced on us by the industry. We're at the point now where people don't want to see artists do anything at all. And we've become so critical where we look for drama and suspicion where there is none. Watch this.
This is not a button push. Lauryn Hill doesn't do shit she doesn't want it. Lauryn Hill doesn't show up to her own shows.
I agree with you. And I wasn't going to say the industry pushed this button.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, is it deserving?
What do you mean, is it deserve her being on stage with Lauryn Hill? The only person that can decide whether she deserves that or not is Lauryn Hill.
Of course. And I love that Lauryn Hill loves Doechii. I think it was an incredible look. I could never imagine, if Lauryn Hill wanted me to go pick up her laundry, I would go do it. I'm not here to shit on Doechii in that regard. I think that's great. But back to the legends thing, when we talk about superstars, megastars, I'm talking about just straight legends. I feel like maybe you need to put in a little bit more work as far as proof to stand next to certain people.
Now, I'm not always receptive when seasoned artists co-signed young acts by hyping them up publicly without really putting them on, because it can backfire on the new act. However, there is a way to do it correctly, publicly, and Lauryn Hill inviting Doechii on stage to perform with her was the correct way and a real co-sign, because Doechii actually get to display her talent. The rapper also is getting backlash because she said straight men are a red flag on the Hot Wings show here on YouTube.
Bullshit! She better not have.
This is a huge red flag for me. All right. Strike one. You're a man.
Yeah.
And you're heterosexual. Yeah.
And this is what I have to say about that. Now, I'm seeing a lot of men getting upset, but personally, I don't see the problem, because if that's not what she wants to get into at the moment, I think that's her business. And that's personal. The discourse around that seems forced to me, or like fake outrage. Seems like a conversation the Andrew Tate community would latch onto, and not straight men in general. Hear me out. Doechii is bisexual. We knew this before she made the red flag statement. Also, she literally told us she dated a man who was in the closet or was on the down low. This is also mentioned on the track Denial is a River.
Hit the Zoom. Turns out the girl was really a dude. And mind you, this is like a guy who is very much like, I'm straight. I don't know. Alpha male. Girl. Turns out he wanted the girls, which is okay. You could have told me that.
In my opinion, when she said that straight men are a red flag, she's speaking from her own experience, i.e. the nigger cheated on her with a nigga, and he wasn't honest with her. So I'm sure that's why she said this. Where is this hate coming from? Why are so many this confident tearing others down? And for what? While I'm making this video, I scoured the internet searching for a video of someone really going in on Doechii, and I couldn't find any, only tweets and comments. No one is attaching their face to these Doechii is being forced and she's a plant comments in the same vitriolic way that I see in these, comment sections. And that says a lot. What it says, in my opinion, is that this is Doechii's hazing, unfortunately. Over the years, we've seen that online hate has become a rite of passage. And it's only getting worse, as in my opinion, a lot of people are not okay right now. The world is in shambles at the moment. The economy is bad. People are struggling, and then going on social media, and all you see are these celebrities posting their highlights, which in most cases, a lot of them are not doing okay either. That being said, what is also concerning is how this is becoming the culture and the norm. There is something really wrong with internet culture and online discourse. I don't know, some of us are way too comfortable hating others who we don't know while acting as if we know everything about them. I'm also seeing where this happens with Black women or women of color the most. They get the worst online hate. Sexy Red, Ice Spice, Tyla, and now Doechii. And the thing is, Doechii has a lot in common with Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan. They are being pushed like crazy, and as they should, resulting in them getting validated as they deserve. But why isn't Doechii, who is getting love, but the hate is too strong? And granted, I've seen white artists like Billie Eilish or even Olivia Rodrigo, who is, close to white, she's half white, get called industry plants before. And while this is not a competition, in the case of 26-year-old Doechii, who I'm just finding out is a Leo like me, it's never been like this. What does this all mean for Doechii? I.e., what can Doechii do to leverage all of this hate and make it work in her favor? As she has been preparing for this moment all her life. And while yes, the hate is unwarranted, it is a test. She needs to leverage all of this hate and online chatter by letting her work speak for itself and releasing her debut studio album sooner rather than later. It wouldn't work in her favor to let all of this hate, which is literally free online real estate, go to waste, as people on the internet are always searching for the next person to hate. We've seen how Doja Cat leveraged her hate into a #1 single, but unlike Doja, instead of self-inflicted hate raging, I recommend doing more interviews, more features, because we've seen how association marketing helps one's status to rise. Also, more appearances, which will spark more debate, and more brand deals that relate, all leading to more awareness of brand Doechii, which will further solidify Doechii as a formidable foe in Gen Z. What do you think? Now let's read today's pop culture question from this user. So they asked, what do you think about Billboard naming Rihanna #2 Best Female Artist of the 21st Century, Taylor Swift at #1, and Beyonce at #3, also Nicki Minaj at #16? I think she should be higher. Now, Taylor Swift being at #1, I am not surprised, and I'm also not mad at it. Nicki Minaj at #16, yes, that is a little bit low. Definitely low for Nicki Minaj. I do feel like she could have been bumped up higher on that ranking. But at the same time, I do not care about these Billboard. I don't care about these Billboard recognitions, whatever. I don't care about them, and it's kind of interesting to see how people all of a sudden just care about what Billboard thinks. Normally people care about the Grammys, even the VMAs people care about, even the AMAs. But normally people don't give a damn about Billboard, not even the Billboard Awards. Like, the Billboard Awards are like the fucking iHeartRadio Awards. Nobody cares, but it's very interesting to see people kind of put a lot of esteem and prestige on what Billboard thinks. So I find that interesting. But what should matter the most is how you rank Nicki Minaj or how you rank anybody else that is on this list. But personally, I'm not mad at it, but I also just don't care for the most part. Now, if you want me to read your pop culture question, you can ask me from now on any video. This video, just go in the comment section and maybe you can tag it by saying pop culture question, or you can use initials. What's that? PC Q&A, I don't know. And I will read it in the next video. I am Don, your pop culture boy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.